your ability to navigate through that game with the foul trouble and crowd and everything else that's going on. What went into that?
Well, um, you know, you got a bunch of new guys, you know. JoJo, number 20, what's JoJo's number 25? You know, he was playing high school last year, you know. Almost every one of the fouls they called on him, those were fouls. You know, we've got to do a better job helping him. JoJo by nature is a fouler. You know, some kids have certain things they're really good at. Well, that's what he's really good at. He's really good at fouling. Some days better than others. Tonight was one of his better days. He was great tonight at that. Now, some of the other ones, you know, some of it is a byproduct of playing on the road. It's the way it is. No other way around it. You know, we had 5 straight possessions there where we had, I think, 4 fouls, and Jamal picked his 4th up. Xavier picked his 4th up. J1, did you pick up your 4th down there during that time? How many did you have tonight? 3?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, but when he was a freshman, he was a lot like that. He fouled a lot too. But you know, it's your first road game. It's a tough environment. I didn't think we played very good, but I don't like it when coaches talk about how poorly they play without giving the other team some credit. You know, Xavier, you know, they played hard. You know, they popped us in the mouth on the boards in the first half. We were much better in the second half, but the first half I thought they were the aggressor, and that's not something that usually happens with us. But you know, we've got some guys still trying to search for an identity for themselves. You know, I can't establish your identity for you. Here's what our program's identity is, but what is yours? And how does yours relate to our programs? And we're still fighting through that. But you know, today's December 1st. You know, our team's going to get a lot better, and I'm sure that Sean's will too. You know, this is December 1st basketball. Around middle of January, 1st of February, both these teams will be a lot better. But best thing about tonight was we found a way to win.
Following that up, you guys went through a couple of scoring droughts.
Yeah.
You know, 6 to 8 minutes in the first half and second half as well. What do you learn about your team when they have to go through droughts?
That
like
if the ball don't go in, we don't score. This is not a real difficult game to understand. You know, I've had fans actually ask me, why do we have so many scoring droughts? Because we don't make shots. You know, that'll do it every single time. You know, it's like free throw shooting.
Do you ever look for your team not to, like, you know, lower their heads or, you know, get down on themselves when the ball's not going in like that?
No. We've got some guys that are used to it, and so am I. You know, sometimes the guys shoot a ball and they go in and go, "Oh wow, I hadn't seen that lately." You know, they all make shots when you recruit them, and then they come here and I screw them up. You know, I'm really good at that. Like Sharp, for instance, outstanding shooter, not a good shooter. Look how many wide open threes he had tonight. He couldn't make one. And those droughts you're talking about, we had a lot of good looks in those droughts. So I don't worry about droughts. I just worry about our shot selection. As long as we're getting good shots, we'll make them. The rebounding the second half mattered. You know, we were able to they were hurting us. Sean made a nice adjustment when they were slipping those screens, because we're really good in our pick and roll coverage, but he made a nice adjustment by sprinting and just slipping. So he caught our bigs, especially JoJo. Now, JoJo turned 18 years old in June. You know, when I say he's young, you know, he's really young. And they were picking on him a little bit tonight, but he'll get better because of that. But, you know, we ran some stuff tonight. Again, our first road game. You know, we played, who was that we played in Charleston?
Dayton,
Towson.
Utah.
Yeah, Towson, University of Utah, and Dayton. But now Dayton game was a little semi-home court because they have such a great fan base. I mean, they were awesome. I mean, you thought it was a road game, but that wasn't. This was, you know, and their crowd impacted the game in many ways. But kudos to Xavier basketball, tradition and history. Those guys didn't come out to see us play. They came to support their team against us. And that's a big difference in a lot of schools. A lot of schools, for instance, in the American that we just came from, a lot of times, you know, most of the games we play were packed. They are all packed. But Xavier is used to this. You know, they didn't come to see us play. I mean, they're used to it. You know, so, but our guys aren't. You know, Damian Dunn's a really good player. Goes 0 for 5 tonight. Sharp's a really good shooter. He goes 2 for 17. Those guys are better than that. And I think we'll get better as we go. It's just first road game. Shed spent, I don't know how many minutes sitting over there besides me. But the big thing about it tonight was get the win, get out of here, get back home, practice, and get better.
LJ, how did you guys keep pushing through, you know, with Jamal in foul trouble and, you know, everything else that's going on?
I mean, we just had to take it one possession at a time, try to get as many stops as possible. Like you said, I'm sorry. We was going on scoring droughts when he was off the floor, but, I mean, as long as they weren't scoring, that's all that mattered, because the ball's going to end up going in.
Kelvin, you mentioned the crowd. How big is it to, you know, go into this environment, you know, come out with a win, especially, you know, another win like this, knowing some of the crowds?
Yeah. You know, last year we had 2 big road wins in we won at Oregon and we won at Virginia. Very similar to this, but you know, our first big off the bench last year was a 5th-year senior, Reggie Chaney, and Reggie was kind of my security blanket. You know, we don't have him. You have a true freshman that it's just going to take him a while. We got to be patient with JoJo, but we elected to go with him. He did a lot of good things tonight, but you know, Xavier's he was an advantage in some ways and disadvantage in others. It's in the way they ran their offense, and they tricked him a couple times, but it ain't hard to trick JoJo right now. You know, being his inexperience really jumps out tonight. And I was worried about that, but he needs to go through it. You know, you couldn't not play him. He needs to go up there. I think his failures and his mistakes are all good. You know, that'll help him the next time we go on the road. We'll be able to sit down and watch film with him and show him things he didn't do very good. Same thing with the other guys, you know. And, you know, part of the problem, I think all coaches go through this, is, you know, we have games where it's a loose whistle, then we have games where it's a tight whistle. You know, and our guys tonight, this was a little bit of a tighter whistle. And we've got to be smart enough to adjust to it. You know, you can't sit here and blame the referees, because it's on you. It's incumbent on you to be able to adjust. Hey, they're calling it tight tonight. You know, they're not going to let you play physical. But so I'll take some responsibility for that. I've got to do a better job of getting our guys to play with their feet. And I thought our defense was really good for a long time. But the fouls, it just kept the game choppy. They went to the line 30 times. I mean, we shot 55 free throws. I don't think anybody signed up for that.
Juwan, what was the difference rebounding
Just a matter of getting it in a want. We was down on the boards in the first half, and
Does that mean you didn't want to get it the first half? Is that what you're saying? Well, if I'd known that, then I thought it was a fair question.
Yeah.
I just don't like your answer.
I got you.
So give him a
man.
different answer. You know, read the room, dude.
You got to do better on the boards. Start off by that, and I think that's our identity. You know, just especially on the road too, especially in this environment. You know, we know that we're not a first shot team, and limiting them to one shot, that's kind of been our strengths, and we wasn't pretty good at that tonight. So, like Coach said, just moving forward, just watching film, and getting better at it, and just a want, to limit them to one shot and get clean rebounds and run out. We know going into this game that they got a fast pace, so offensive rebounds, can cut that out, but we wasn't as strong as that tonight, and they got a lot of fast break points that had us on our heels. So just going forward, just adjusting.
Jawan, with Xavier and JoJo getting in foul trouble early, you had to play a lot of that first 14, 15 minutes of that first half, and then towards the end when you got to rest and you guys got to cushion the lead a little bit more. How big was that for you, just with your rest and moving forward into the second half, having a little more fresh legs?
That's a good question. It's a great question. Like Coach said about fouling, and just playing smart too, and we got a good bench, great depth. And, if I can go in for probably 5 minutes and come back out, JoJo go in, just the rotation, just being fluent, with us fouling tonight kind of, was pretty bad for us. And we went small ball a lot too. And I think that kind of, hurt us in the long run. But, just being scrappy, and being aggressive how we are, I think at the end of the game, we just came out with the win. And, by just, trusting our teammates, even though we got out rebounded, just trying to find ways to, impact the ball and just find a way to win.
I got time for one more. Kelvin, having a guy like LJ who's been there and sort of created his own shots, both in the lanes, how critical is that?
Well, all of our really good teams, Quentin Grimes, Damian Dotson, Armani Brooks, we got a ton of guys in the NBA right now that played that same role that he's playing. Armani's with the Nets, Quentin's with the Knicks, Nate's with the Rockets, Marcus is with Detroit. Hopefully LJ will be where those guys are one day. But that's not an accident that it happens like that. You got to have somebody you can play through, and that's his job. It's like those getting the ball in bounds. Getting the ball in bounds at the end of the game is not democratic. You get the ball in the hands of your best free throw shooter. So when Jamal called timeout, for instance, everything I drew up was to get the ball into Emmanuel too. Emmanuel's a very good free throw shooter. We've all kind of got the flu right now at the free throw line, but LJ's, he works at it too. You like to, if you look down at our practice facility court, you see him a lot when nobody else is there. So I like kids that prepare for the moments when no one's there, for when everybody's there.
Coach, Juwan, LJ, thank you.
Okay.